Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another new video. Today's journey began just outside London. I start at Slough station. As you can see, the train is coming, a busy railway hub on the Great Western Main Line. It might not look particularly special, but historically this station has been one of the main gateway connecting London to town across west of England. From here, it is just a short train ride to a place that holds nearly thousands of years of royal history, the town of Windsor. So we are in the train and we are heading towards Windsor and Eton Central Station with this particular train. So within kind of 5 to 6 minutes, the train arrives at Windsor and Eton Central Station from Slough. The station itself is quite charming. You can see around, you can see a lot of things here. Just want to mention, this originally opened in 1849 during the Victorian era. It was built especially to serve visitor travel to Windsor Castle. Today, the old station building have been converted into small shops and cafe, but the Victorian character is still very much intact. You can see here a lot of people are taking photos and everything here, and look at this energy and everything you can see here. So just before going to the Windsor Castle, we feel the vibe, straight away from this very station. You can see a lot of shops and restaurants around in this particular station nearby, and you can see the charms and energy around. Just you can see, the moment you stepped outside of the station, something immediately catches your eye. Rising above the town is Windsor Castle. Look at this phenomenal view. This is my first time here, and I'm so excited to be here in Windsor Castle today. I cannot wait to be inside and see the mesmerizing thing of Windsor Castle today. You can see, even from the distance, you can tell this is not just another historic building. This is really something else. Just want to mention that Windsor Castle is the largest and oldest inhabited castle in the world. It has been continuously occupied by British monarchs for nearly 1000 years. Again mentioning 1000 years, starting with William the Conqueror, who built the first wooden fortress here in the late 11th century, and from there till today it is occupied by them. Before entering to Windsor Castle, there is something visitors should know about tickets and entry procedures. It is highly recommended to book your ticket in advance online. As of today, the standard ticket price are roughly, for adults it is £32 if you booked in advance, or about 36 if you purchased on that very day. Young people aged between 18 to 24, it is £21 in advance, and around 24 on that very day. Similarly, children aged 5 to 17, it is 16 in advance, and also children under 5, it is free entry. Another thing worth mentioning here is that entry ticket includes a multimedia audio guide which is available in multiple languages and provides detailed explanations as you explore different areas of the castle. Once you arrived at the visitor center, all guests must go through security check similar to airport style screening. This is because Windsor Castle is not just a tourist attraction, it remains an active royal residence, and security is taken very seriously. So, after passing through the security and scanning your ticket, you are finally allowed into the castle ground. And that is the moment when you really start to appreciate the incredible scale of Windsor Castle. This is the round tower sitting on the top of large artificial mound building during the Norman period. The mound itself was constructed almost 1000 years ago as part of the castle's defensive design. Throughout history, that tower has served multiple roles, including a military lookout, a royal archive, and a symbolic center of Windsor Castle. And today, it remains one of the most recognizable features of the entire complex. And just to mention, several monarchs are buried here, including King Henry VIII, King Charles I, King George VI, and Queen Elizabeth II. Just want to mention here the photography rules, and there is something very important visitors should know before entering some part of the castle. As you can see, I am taking pictures and photos here in this very place without any problem, but there are certain places you cannot take photos and videos. Filming and photography are strictly prohibited inside several parts of Windsor Castle. This includes, first of all, the state apartments, the semi-state rooms, and the St. George's Chapel itself. So be careful about that. You should not film those places, and they will see they will also notify you that you should not film or take photos in these very areas. Just nearby stand one of the most important building with Windsor Castle, St. George's Chapel. This chapel is one of the finest example of perpendicular Gothic architecture in England. Construction began in the late 15th century under King Edward IV and continued under several monarchs. Over the centuries, the castle has been expanded, rebuilt, and transformed by successive monarchs. What began as a medieval defensive fortress gradually evolved into one of the most important royal residences in Britain. You can see here. Walking towards the castle, you can see the scales became clearer. The thick stone wall, the enormous towers, and the carefully designed defensive layout reminds you that Windsor was originally built as part of the chain of castles protecting London. Unlike Buckingham Palace, which mainly function as the monarch's administrative headquarters, Windsor Castle has long been considered a more personal home for the royal family. In fact, Queen Elizabeth II spent many weekends here. So you can see here, walking around the castle ground, there is history everywhere you look. Old defensive cannons sit along the wall. Stone courtiers open up between medieval structures, and occasionally you will see King's Guard standing on ceremonial patrol. These guards are members of elite regiments tasked with protecting royal residence. They might appear completely still, but they are very much on duty. You can see. So you can see the structure and everything around it. It is amazing. It is really amazing. As I mentioned, Windsor Castle has stood here for nearly 1,000 years. It has survived wars, fires, political changes, and centuries of history. Yet it remains one of the most important royal residences in the world. So, as I entered in these very areas like estate apartments and, for example, St. George's Chapel, so they told me to switch off my cameras and phone in these very areas. The main reasons are preservation of the historic interiors, protection of priceless artworks, and maintaining the dignity of an active royal residence. So, while you can film plenty around the castle grounds, the most spectacular interiors are something you simply have to experience in person, not in videos. So I highly encourage you, if you want to see these very things, you should come here in this very place to experience in person. And whether you come here for the history, the architecture, or simply to explore a living piece of British heritage, Windsor Castle is absolutely worth your journey. So when you are done experiencing Windsor Castle's every corner, I would definitely say you should visit the Middle World shop here, which is a souvenir shop, I would say, a curated selection of exclusive royal souvenirs and gifts. All proceeds from the shop directly support the royal collection, one of the world's most significant art collection, I would definitely say. You can also find a lot of high quality items characterized like, for example, commemorate chinaware, food and drink, homeware and textile, gifts for children, jewelry and accessories you'll find here. You can see some of the collection here in this very video as well. So definitely I would suggest you should be here, and you can have some of the thing from here if you want. So here it is, the souvenir shop. So, after exploring the castle itself, it is worth taking time to explore the town of Windsor. The town has a lively mix of historic street, small cafes, traditional pubs, and souvenir shops. Despite of thousands of tourists who visit each year, Windsor still manages to feel like a classic English town built around centuries of royal heritage.
One of the versions of Passport.
And wait for a second, because just beyond the castle lies one of the most famous sites in this area. A perfectly straight avenue is traced nearly 3 miles through Windsor Great Park. The long walk was originally created during the time of King Charles II in the 17th century. Historically, it was used for royal processions and ceremonial events. Today, it is one of the most scenic walking route near London. Most probably you have seen this in many of the videos or many of the movies you have watched in a film in this particular area. And just have a look, standing here looking back towards Windsor Castle, rising above the landscape, you really feel the scale of the historic royal estate. It's really amazing. So that's really it, the Windsor and Windsor Castle journey of us. I tried to show you as much as possible. At the same time, I tried to share some of the informative things about this very castle. So thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next adventure. And don't forget to let me know how you have found Windsor Castle. Thank you so much.